again.
Tonight, we got LIB, Trapper. We got T-Mac. We got MT Paranormal Life. And I hope I don't drop out, so y'all have me. There we go. Welcome, gentlemen. How y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Very good.
Is it raining by you? Raining in New York?
No, well, off and on it's been. Yesterday we got hit pretty bad, which we had, that wind and that rain and everything, and but it was cool. It finished out with the that aurora borealis stuff, which was pretty cool.
Oh man, that was great.
Yeah,
I got some nice pictures.
I was so pissed that I was like so out of it because I had been like, I went to sleep kind of early and I was like, oh, I'll get a head start, and then like, something told me to go outside type thing, and I wasn't expecting that, but anyway, I didn't stay long. I just I went and got like what I could out of it. Took a couple of looks at it and went back in, but it was amazing.
Gene says they kicked me back out of the portal.
Yeah,
that's why we lost connection.
That's what happened to you.
I am streaming live from the portal.
Yeah, that video was crazy. It was cool.
Yeah, man.
But in a good way. I'm always glad when I see you guys get that kind of activity, like, because regardless of how scary it is, like it's in essence it's what you're after, right? Like it's
exactly
is some kind of reaction or activity or whatever. Not necessarily bad, but you don't want bad activity, so you got to learn how to dance around that. But
LIB, I must have dropped like 55 F-bombs in like 2 minutes. I was in shock.
Yeah,
it's part of the New York language.
Yeah, right. That's just common for New Yorkers. So
I'm usually not like that, but when I was like, wow.
Oh, I know. When you were screaming at him, like when you were screaming at Mike, like Mike was like all calm, like looking around at something. You're like, no, you don't understand. Like it went into your feet. Like it's in your feet.
I'm like, it's just checking me out. It's cool. Don't worry.
They weren't checking you out, man. They were violating you.
It feel violated.
Hey,
they're going in your head and your feet.
It was just like the scene from Ghostbusters,
Mm-hmm.
I had a good evening.
Good night. I hope everybody liked the video. That's what we got. I mean, I don't know what to call it. Like I said before, I don't know what else to call it. Hole in the sky. I mean, portal just seems logical to me. Maybe it's not a portal. I couldn't get no answers from nobody. I don't know. I've never seen a portal before.
Now, the way it behaved, I kind of think the same thing. You saw it. It shrunk up, opened up real big, shrunk up, opened up real big. Temperatures over 1,000 degrees when it was full size. Stuff
didn't feel no heat.
Yeah. Not sure what else it could be.
It's data. Like that's what it is. It's data for the future. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to. I learned a long time ago. There's not always answers for stuff, and like, you guys are very good about it. Like addressing things, looking at things, trying to figure things out. But at the same time, you don't let yourselves get hung up. Like you keep pushing and going to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing,
right?
While still trying to figure out what was going on back. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
That's where I see a lot of people get stuck. Is like they capture something amazing and then they're just stuck. Like, and it's just like,
right.
There's only so much of an answer that you're gonna find. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense.
I dedicated 2 weeks. I put everything on the back burner, like I told everybody. And we did live hunts. I said, Trapper, can you do a live hunt? And then I ended up being able to join them. And me and MT got to go out, and do one. But I spent most of the time reaching out to people, sending out the clip of the video, trying to get answers back. And, I gave it a 2 week limit. And that was it. And, now we're back to full go. We were out last night. I was out today earlier this morning and then back out the afternoon. Now it's full go, and it's like nobody wants to give you answers because nobody wants to say portal. I mean, shocked. They're like, wow, reached out to the thermal company.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, like, just to debunk something. You know what I mean? Just reach out to the company, like with the spirit talkers, like, certain apps or whatever. If you're using apps, like, we reached out at one point and said, "Hey, is this thing? Do you have Latin words in there?" And they were like, "No, no, it shouldn't know Latin, So,
yeah,
just for an example.
Yeah, we did get some 2 Ohio teams reached out to us and want to work with us, and it's nice. It's nice to have researchers say, "Can we get on a boat with you?"
Yeah, that's cool.
It is.
Yeah. And we always have you. And we're going to meet up with LIB this summer.
I'm always ready. There's actually there's a conference coming up in Jersey, which I don't usually travel to Jersey for anything, but it's the second annual one. It's like I think it's like a cryptid paranormal one, so I might go check it out. And Ron Moorhead is I really respect him, and he's going to be there. And it's nobody ever is going to agree on anything 100%, right? But I mean, that man's dedicated like 50 plus years of his life to this, And
right.
He's the one who got the Sierra sounds recorded.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna play him there too. I think. I believe he's gonna put him. I believe he said he's gonna play them there. And Ronnie LeBlanc will be there. I don't know. I don't watch that show, so I don't know much about him. But
yeah.
It's close enough, so I might actually go to that one. But what I was thinking, anyway, the point of this whole thing was, while I'm on the road, I might just kind of keep on coming and come bump into you guys somewhere and see what we could see. So hopefully it might work out. It might not. We'll see how things play out.
Yeah.
I mean, MT got close to me once.
Yeah, that's when I was making that trip to Sleepy Hollow.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be a cool place to go visit.
Got a question here. Christina says, was that what cameraman think it would have sounded like if there was a sound, or did he really hear it? I don't understand. The portal?
Maybe. I see.
I didn't hear nothing from the portal.
Yeah. Steve asked. He said he loves your sound effects you make.
Oh.
So maybe the sound effects you were making when you're describing the portal.
Oh yeah. When I was like, yeah, no, that didn't make no noise. I don't know why I make noises with my hand language. Maybe it's an Irish Italian thing.
Yeah. Oh, probably a little bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Stump Jumper. I mean, that thing opened and closed so fast. He asked, was there any different activity when the portal was larger or smaller? I mean, for the short amount of time you captured it and how fast it opened and closed, I really couldn't say. Yeah,
that was like seconds. And I don't even think it was a minute. A little over a minute, maybe. And then everything, all the power loss.
The temperature was the thing that was noticeable. Every time it went real small, it dropped down into like 200, 100 degrees. And then as soon as it expanded, went right to max. Boom.
Yeah. And like we said, we could feel no heat. And you would think something that close, you'd feel some kind of heat. And there was nothing.
Especially
at least I didn't feel a difference. I mean, there might have been
handhelds. Those handhelds don't jump around like that. They don't do that. Like, you got to get like right up against a tree or like, whatever, like to like see it, like, and then it like gradually changes. Like it's a great device. Don't get me wrong, but it's it's not normal for it to go, you know,
Right.
like
The
extremities.
company,
It's not a multimeter, like, you know what I mean? Like that.
right,
Like that's what, to me, that's what it was doing, like multimeter things, like
right. And the company said what we seen on there is what it was.
yeah.
And they were like,
Okay.
we don't know what you're talking about, portal or anything, because I'm trying to explain. I was like the fluctuation in this hole, and they're like, okay, are you looking at the ground? No, I'm looking at, imagine a portal opening up around portal, and you're aiming the thermal there, and the temperature's going up and down. And they're like, well, we don't know about portals or anything, but you know, if you're pointing it at a car engine, or you know, they're like, what you see is what you get.
But that's what they're used to getting is like people buy these things too. Like electricians use them a lot, right?
Mhm.
Like looking through the wall, like, is it hot in here? Like, did I, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, like stuff like that. Like the one I have, the thermal I have is the one that attaches to the phone or whatever, the FLIR one.
Yeah.
And I think FLIR is great, but I mean, the one you have is a lot better. It's more accurate, way more accurate.
We've used it, you know, a lot, and we've seen normally. I don't think we've captured anything that like fluctuated like that, even
No.
at a lower temperature. I mean, you could catch the hottest points, usually like the trees, or if you happen to scan somebody standing there, and the temperature is like boom, you know, 75, 76.
Even on water.
Doesn't change like 100, 200, bam, over 1,000, and then
Yeah.
over 1,000, bam, back down to 200, 160, like it was doing with that.
500. Yep.
So that was a rapid heat change, so fast that it went from 100, 200 to max like that.
Yeah. Well, I had just been listening to this woman too, Colleen, I believe her name is, speaking about, it's part of like the Ohio Dogman Project or something like that. And her daughter is the one. If you guys have ever seen that video of the dog man, they didn't know it was a dog man at the time, but it was like digging in the cemetery.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
so
seen that.
so she was talking about all the reports and stuff about, you know, things like that in the area, and a lot of it comes down to that space you were in, like by the Cuyahoga or whatever it is, right?
Cuyahoga.
I don't want to butcher, you know, a Native
Cuyahoga.
American name, but something to that effect.
Cuyahoga.
Cuyahoga, yeah.
Yeah, and the weird thing of it is, I didn't bring this up, but because I was waiting for this moment. So the Navy calls in to State Highway Patrol, sends him over to Cuyahoga
Was that Air
Forest.
Force or Navy?
Or no, it was Air Force, I believe.
Air Force.
Yeah, Air Force. Called the Ohio Patrol, told them to go over to Cuyahoga because they were getting some weird signals from there.
That's nuts.
In the same day, right?
Yep.
Coincidence?
Yeah, and I can grab that right from the internet and post it.
I always say when you see Blackhawks, it's like, you know, you're doing something good that day. You know, like, you know, you're onto some shit. Like,
Yeah. So
like,
there's one for you. So they got there. I guess it says on the internet that they got there, didn't see nothing, but there was weird signals coming from that part.
hanging off, you know, the search choppers that they have, the stuff that they have hanging off the bottom of that thing, I mean, is insane. Like, just like, I don't know if you guys have ever, like, just those choppers is insane.
Oh, I
No,
mean,
I'm
I just
ex-military,
retired
so
from the
like
Air Force. I'm well aware of what they do.
Okay, so yeah, you already know, yeah, and like, I mean, it's wild, like, it's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy good technology. I'll tell you
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure is. Pinpoint, like,
Pinpoint, yeah, exactly.
pinpoint accuracy. It's a lot clear. Like, it's amazing. So like, yeah, I got to use the Crow system in Afghanistan, which was like, it eliminated us from having to be gunners outside the truck, and we got to be inside the truck, which was part of that. Like a similar system was up top, right? And it even controlled the weapon.
Yeah.
Won't get into details about that, but anyway, the screen in front of you, it's like you're playing
Yeah.
Call of Duty. It's that clear, right? Like it's like you have headphones on, the screen folds down in front of you, and like you're just in this jump seat kind of, and like somebody's driving and big up armored truck, but like everything you're doing is pinpoint. It's like it's crazy. It's insane.
Right? Yeah, I had the same experience too, Mike. Like in 2009, when I was in Iraq, I was with Stryker Brigade, and I got to run the gunner seat.
Mm-hmm.
First time I got to run it, and it was the same FLIR system. Sat in there, operate the 50 cal manually, remote, and you had all FLIR thermal vision.
Oh yeah. At night, it's even crazier because like your tracers. Your tracers look like, dragon's breath. Like, it's crazy. Like, otherwise, you don't know. To an extent, you don't really know where you're shooting. There's just these, like, white, even with a 50 cal or a Mark 19, you don't really, it's like, you're kind of just aiming. But you're right, that FLIR is just nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the now, see, I don't know if people got confused in what I was saying. On the video, I circled the light anomalies that I caught, that I could catch. It seemed like they stayed off video. And a lot of people were like, we don't see what you're talking about. The ones that I circled on the video are the ones that we caught throughout the video. But, I mean, there was a lot of off camera. But I don't know if you've seen those, LIB.
Yes, and but I have experience in it, right? Like so much experience because I know that the things that you're gonna catch are the things right at the edge of your light. It's hard to explain how you're not catching things in your light, right? You think like, oh, where you put your flashlight is where you're gonna capture, but it's like it's at the edge. There, everything is smart enough to stay at the edge, and like. How they do that, I don't know. Same thing with a campfire. It's like, you have this campfire lit, and like it only illuminates so far, and like, but like you see something going on, and you're like, what is it type thing. So the footage helps because you could go back and kind of, like you did, like look at it and see what was, kind of lingering.
Oh yeah, and that thing behind MT, I'm glad that I caught it because I could see it with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like soon as I was trying to go real slow, and I'm like, stay still, and I was like, bam, got it. You know what I'm saying? You could see it there, but then it was like,
I think whatever that was came in for his battery.
It was nuts. His battery on his headlamp.
Yeah, right. That one.
When I'm out with him, I'm always watching how that goes down. It never goes down quick, and it was charged. All of a sudden, it went bam, empty.
Yeah, I think right. That's at least that's the gist I got. I can't, I can't speak for everyone, but I think something came in to get that. Let me get that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, and I was so happy that I caught it on film, just a little bit. Even just a little bit, I was like, yes. Because I couldn't believe it. And then that thing that when he crossed the water, that thing that popped, that light anomaly, that was wicked.
Well, I've been taking a page out of your guys' books ever since I got the second flashlight, the Marauder
Mini.
Yeah, the one Mike uses, and I don't know if you use it too or what, but ever since you guys used that red one and got that weird thing, I've been trying to switch it up every once in a while and just maybe sometimes I'm doing it too much, but I'm like switching through because that one has the blue, the green, the red, and so what I found actually was weird too was that I found that there's humans marking trees. I mean, this is something that I wanted to put out there. Like there's like, I don't know, I don't want to say a cult, but like it's something like that where like there's groups of people that are going out into these woods, and they're like leaving each other like almost like illuminated, messages on the tree, like which way to go, like to meet, So I don't know if they're all bringing out a UV light and like follow. That's how they follow. But
Yeah,
I'm not talking deep wood stuff. But
Well,
it's
around here, the hunters will put just a little tack that'll like luminescent on a tree, and they'll put it on several trees, and it'll follow so they can follow into their path to their hunting spot.
Yeah, these were like symbols. It was weird. Like they were like, I don't know. I want to say pagan, but I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, get yourself a good black light. And
I got a good UV light, like a good one. But again,
that's just not a bad idea.
It's keeping everything charged, keeping everything on you, carrying it all the time. Like, do you pull out that tool, this tool, that tool? You know what I mean? Like you got the laser, you got the different attachments. Did you bring the attachments? Did you change? Do you want to go through all those things? Because you could literally go sit in one spot and then go through all your stuff and never move. Like go thermal, go night vision, go. Use the laser, then use all the attachment grids, and then use the different color flashlights, then use the UV, and there's so many different things. Especially you guys have so many tools. It's crazy.
That's why it's cool when you you get fortunate enough to pick or just have the right piece of equipment that you're using at the time and capture something like that on thermal.
Yes.
How many times really take the thermal out and use it a lot? I know it was just like, because you can't really do a hunt though. You can't spend a whole hour sitting there with your thermal out in front of you and the camera watching it, and that's all you look at. So it's like you just got to periodically check or when you can, and the odds that you had the thermal at that point in time was pretty good, pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's people don't understand how much all that stuff weighs, how much you got to keep it charged. Carrying it, hiking. I mean, we did what, Mike? In one way, 7.4 miles one way.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, Kyle.
Every time I'm out with you guys, I got to be prepared to do at least 8 to 10 miles.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, and then you got all your equipment, and then you got to try to improvise for what you're seeing. Okay, I'll break out the thermal. Do I, use night vision? Do I, laser? This, that. It's guessing work for what's going on around you.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to camping again, and like, there's a lot you could do within, if you put yourself in the right area. And that's why I stay in a lot of the places I stay in. First of all, they're more affordable, but like a lot of times they're just these little like rundown campers or like cottages in the middle of nowhere. And the activity around them is just insane. Like it's just insane. And they don't use them. These people don't use them. They don't. They have so much land, it's unreal, and then they don't use it. Whether they're older, whether it's just there's no point to use it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, I'm like, oh my god, you live in like the best place ever. This is like, you have like 100 acres of like Bigfoot territory. Like, it's amazing. Like, and they're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, like with like they just paint in their back room.
Right.
But each their own, right?
Yeah. It was definitely gonna go back there. I'd love everybody to be there when we go back. But I'll tell you what, I'm going back prepared. I'm taking 3 book bags, backpacks.
Now, how that there's a river out there, right? Like, is the river rough? Like, is it rough water or?
One is there's the big rivers, really rough water. I mean, there's been hundreds of thousands of people that drowned, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds of people that drowned in it. But
Every year somebody drowns there.
yeah,
Okay.
the
That's not good.
river. The river is, or the stream that cuts through there. There's multiple. You know, some could be a little fast flowing, some not. So, some
Yeah.
shallow, some deep.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious. Like, like one of the things I do is like I like river walk or creek walk. Like I just get my bare feet out and put them down in there, or like whatever, water shoes, socks, whatever. It doesn't matter. You know, the closer to grounding you can get, the better. Obviously, you already know. But
Yeah.
you know, something about putting yourself in the water, like
Feels good.
yeah, and then like, but I don't know how to explain it. Like ever since I started this stuff, like the just dragging my fingertips through the water, like as I walk, it's like the water speaking to me, like and there's messages like coming down. And I know this might sound nuts to some of you, right? Like, but I'm just a regular ass dude, just telling you this stuff. I'm not like some spiritual guru or like, right? But like when it comes to like whispers in the wind and stuff, like I'm starting to like buy into all this stuff, you know, and I'm starting to, instead of like just mocking it and laughing at it, I'm putting myself into it, you know, and becoming part of, like, just being part of the forest instead of being like a guy walking through it. Let me become part of it. You know what I mean? And just connect myself to all this stuff, one way or another.
Yeah, that's why I love touching the trees. Even, you know, man,
Well,
it gets
that's
some
what I'm
energy.
saying. Walking in the water for me I mean, I get into such a relaxed vibration, like such a good place. But it's relaxing for me. Like it's calming. It's like, but it's a hell of a workout too, because you know, I don't care if it's still water when you're dragging your, even if it's only ankle or knee deep, when you're dragging your legs through water,
Right.
you know, it's exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yep.
noticed too that like, and I know it's not the water that I'm saying I hear, but when you listen, you can hear the water running, and sometimes
Yeah.
you can hear. I can hear what might be voices, or you can hear something, and
Yes.
like, I can tell it's not the water,
Right.
but you know the water does make noise, of course, when it's flowing. But
Yeah.
if you
White
notice, and I notice that, but I don't always say it because you know it's more like just it's like I think of it as like it's something for me that I hear,
Yeah.
and I don't. That's something that I don't think I've mentioned before, but every time I sit there and I'll listen and I'll pause and I can hear it. Like you can hear something.
That's cool.
Yeah, like white noise.
No, like I know what you mean. It sounds like a physical voice, like maybe like a female, like is like there and like almost like says something to you, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's interesting, like because like you said, it's yeah, sure. Of you can explain that away quick. Oh, flowing water, it makes sounds and sounds like, you know, sounds like talking sometimes and da 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 da. But then there's other times, and how do you explain that to people? That yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I totally agree. But there's this one or two times where I feel like it's something different.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, you want to hear something weird? I was just telling MT about this. That video where we show the footprints in there, that was the same day, the footprints in the river, on that short. If
yeah,
you listen really well to it, when it starts off, you can hear like a baby crying or laughing, or maybe a little girl crying or laughing. It's the weirdest thing.
Now I got to go back and listen.
now
Yeah.
sometimes that can be a trap of sorts because there's something that's on the other side of that water, and that water is a natural deterrent that it cannot cross, right? It can be
Mhm.
as small as a creek that's this wide, and the most powerful entity can't cross it. And this goes into the W guys and you know, with the antlers and shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I learned about this the hard way to an extent. But I spoke to some of the natives up near Woodstock, and anyway, let's just say, yeah, you gotta be cautious with that, especially with the babies crying. I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of different stories about that. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't want to say one way or another. It could have been something peaceful, it could have not been. That's, for you to decipher. But
Right. Trapper, Shannon says, say something so we all know you're not a prop for money.
I'm sitting here listening.
he talks beforehand. Before we start, he's talking.
He's
You're
just
just
in
a
a group.
cutout looking there.
He's in a group. There's 4 of us who are really chatty, and so
Yep.
he gets drowned out.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Trapper. What do you
Yep.
think?
About
He's
what?
just, yep. That would be cool. A prop cutout. Yeah, I'll join you on your show and just
And just use a prop here.
yeah, but check out that
Take a
short
picture
of the river
now.
with the feet footprints in it. You'll hear it. It's crazy.
So, and I seen somebody comment earlier. Someone commented on I had this something scream at me, and yeah, I was out by myself and way out in the country in the middle of the woods down in the river valley, and had something. I mean, a scream. I don't know if I want to say scream if it was much as a roar, but it was loud, and I answered I was like, "Yep, that's it. Turning around." Not facing this by myself.
Yeah, I don't. Even if you're with a few people, anybody who wants to go that way can go that way. But I'm
Well,
not.
it is. If I'd have had even one more person with me, I probably would have went forward.
It does change things. As somebody who goes out by themselves a lot, like it does change things when you go out with other people. It's a nice thing. It's nice to have like.
The thing with a difference between Ohio and New York, our gun laws and self-defense laws are I mean, it's the advantages to the person who feels the threat.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, with YouTube, if they start seeing that on there, they have a fit over it. But there's some of the things that went through my mind of what battle do I want to fight right now, and it was I don't want to fight a battle right now.
Yep.
So that was why I was like, nope, got to turn around. I did a pause where I processed it, and it was like, yeah, I'm not fighting this.
Yeah, I lived near Woodstock for a year, and like they don't like the black bears, they do whatever they want, and like they're like protected as all hell in that town. You know what I mean? Now you go outside of there, and you go outside of Woodstock area, like or Ulster County in general, and it's different. You go into I step into Columbian Green, it's like bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean? Like people protect themselves there, but it took this one particular black bear. She came. She had 2 cubs. Those 2 cubs sat on my stoop one day, like right there, and I just like sitting there, and I heard her hauling ass across the front yard, and I said, "What the hell is that?" I almost opened the door too, but I said, "Let me look." I looked up, and I saw something go charging by, and I'm like, "Oh sh!" I'm like, "All right." As soon as that happened, I knew I left the trash. Somebody left the trash out. So I'm like, all right, I didn't get it to the dumpster for sure because I hear it trashing right outside my door. So I kind of peek, and I see the 2 cubs sitting there, and they weigh about 50 pounds each. And I'm like, all right, that's shut it right. About 2 weeks later, this bear was trashing everything under the sun, and it took for that bear to go into somebody's house, like break down the back door, open up the oven, steal the food out, and then tear up her entire kitchen. This woman was like baking a pie or something, for whatever. Like it sounds like a fairy tale. And then went upstairs to take a nap, and came downstairs and sees this bear sleeping in the kitchen, all fatted out. But it literally ate everything she owned. Like it it bit into every spice and everything, and the fridge door was like it. Anything that she owned just had, teeth in it. Anything.
It was like, ooh.
So then but they killed it. Like, the town came and killed it. Well, we were actually pissed at that point. We're like, that's our bear, like.
Yeah.
So, well,
Oh, I bet, Stump Jumper. So, anyone got questions about what they saw on the portal? We're here.
I think you guys are categorizing pretty correctly. Like it opened up and closed back down, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, something was crossing right there. I think, you know what I mean. Something, for lack of better words, was just leaving this dimension and right in front of you. The lens captured it, your eyes captured it, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's both. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're losing.
I don't know what else to call it.
Flare.
Yeah, I'm getting phone calls from people, so
I just don't know what to call it. It's like you see a hole and what.
And being that you were able to get a captured on the thermal, it showed even more detailed evidence showing the temperature of it.
right.
And being that at its max, once it started to open to its max size, it went over 1,022 degrees. That right there showed, kind of stood out and told me that that's different than seeing, capturing smoky orbs or black orbs on a camera, because, this is something that is so intense temperature wise that it's different.
Well,
Right.
here's the crazy thing too, right? Like, I've had like something scream right next to my ear, and I know it's screaming, and I know it's loud enough that it's hurting something else, but it's not. It's not hurting my ear. Like, it reminds me of kind of like this, right? Where you guys you're filming something at over 1,000 degrees. Now our skin like burns at what, like 100, 110, something like that. I don't know, whatever. You start to get sunburn, right? Anyway,
Right.
1,000 degrees would do damage. You would feel that heat at least. You would feel it, but you didn't. Now it's happening. You're watching it all happening. It's being documented, but you're not feeling it. Like, which that's the kind of stuff that blows my mind. Is like
Right.
they leave no trace. Like, everything that happens kind of like leaves no trace, unless they want to,
Right.
How high do you remember, or can you get an idea, Jack, of like how high up it was from when you were filming versus where we were standing? I don't think I've ever asked.
I would say, well, I would say maybe to those branches, in the middle of those branches. So,
I mean, like I didn't really
100
see
feet.
100 feet. Okay, I was going to say, because I didn't see it till after, and when I saw it, I couldn't really tell how high up that was. That's what I was wondering. Because if it's like 100 feet up and it's that hot, that might be why we probably didn't feel any of the heat.
Yeah, but you're thinking 1,000 degrees.
Yeah.
Over 1,000. I mean, you would think you would feel something.
So maybe it's possible that you were reading the temperature of that area, that spot, of whatever that whatever. Maybe maybe that was like a temperature it was reading right, maybe just in it or on it, but maybe it didn't radiate out. Somehow it was limited to like the temperature was actually in the area itself and not like actually like a radiating object that's above us. Maybe it was just like an inside temperature, the surface temperature of right on it,
Yeah.
Had to be something like that. But we didn't feel any heat.
Right.
Which is even stranger.
Yeah,
Dean
I'm
was
lost.
saying about why did the Air Force get involved, and what I can tell you personally, over the U.S. NORAD is what it's called there, that they're monitoring all of that, the signals and anything in the sky and anything that is subspace level. The Air Force is going to be dispatched to check that out.
Yeah, they called the highway patrol,
Mm-hmm.
and the highway patrol went and they said they didn't see nothing.
But that just means it wasn't near any kind of military facility to contact them to do it.
Right.
So yeah, they'll contact the local government to do that.
I was going to answer Shannon's question about the place I went last Sunday. Yeah, Shannon, if the guys are willing to go out there, I would like to do a night hunt out there.
Oh yeah.
Jack and I did talk about it. Jack's wanting to go out there too. So, I mean, there was a lot of good signs out there, a lot of X's, a lot of tree bends, good cover, a lot of water source. So yeah, there was, I think it's a very good area. I mean, you guys, the subscribers, they caught a lot of good stuff in the photographs. So, and I know there's been 2 reports of them. So, this year, I know there's been 2 reports out there just this year. So, I would like to get out there.
Oh yeah,
I bet you that place is not different at night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love to go out there. Mystery says, but is it really that hot? The thermal probe seen it as that hot, but not literally that hot. That probe's pretty accurate. That thermal is pretty accurate.
Well, maybe she's saying like was something maybe manipulating it?
I doubt that. I mean, I was using it last night and we were comparing body heats and we were right on, like my thermal to his thermal.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible.
I mean, just being that you were aiming right at something that you can see, like it makes
right. And I was pointing at it, aiming at it,
Yeah.
And the other thermal, I mean, it was given the right temperature around it.
Yeah. Well, there's weird, like a lot of these devices are very. What do you have? You have a FLIR, right?
No. It is. Give me 1 second.
Sorry. That's how I am. I'm like, it's around here somewhere.
Yeah. It's a ITTI HT18 Plus. And I don't know if I can get it this close, so you can see the range on it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that?
No, but I could see it, yeah.
-4 degrees Fahrenheit to 1022 degrees Fahrenheit.
You can click your picture. If you click on just your photo, it'll make your picture big and ours will go away.
All right, hold on.
Like tap your screen or click on it.
Did it make it big?
Not yet.
Nope, it just blows up the screen for me.
Oh, okay. You might have dots. I don't know.
I don't know if you could see it better there. I don't know, but it's a ITTI HT18 Plus thermal imaging camera.
For those people who don't know as well, when you're watching videos, about 6 months ago or so, YouTube added a feature. So when you're watching videos, you can, if you're on your phone or your tablet or whatever, you guys can actually zoom in the screen.
Yeah.
And it, you can pause it, or while you're watching, while it's, but if you're like, oh, is something back there, you can actually, zoom in up to about eight times, I believe. And it's a pretty great feature. It's really helpful to like us as well. So,
Yep. That's why I say I'll leave it right here and you all can zoom in. Yeah, that's a great feature. Love it.
Oh, one of the best additions they ever did, at least for outdoors like us. Like,
that's when I circle stuff, and a circle smaller way back. If you're using a cell phone or a tablet, you can zoom in. Even on your TV, you can go to your settings and you can, zoom in that way also. I mean, unless you got a touchscreen TV. I'm not that
my kids think everything's touchscreen. I got my handprints on my TV.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it could. I don't know if they could manipulate it or not. But that was the reading. And you could see the outside readings on the video are correct. You know what I'm saying? The readings that were going around it, correct.
Yeah, well, that's a very spiritual place too, like really spiritual. I had a lot to say. I held back, as you know. I don't, I bite my tongue on a lot, but I had a lot to say on this one, and I just kind of, I was like, they're on the money right now, and like you guys are doing good, really good, really really good work. That stuff doesn't just happen like around just anybody. It's not. It's earned. It's earned. Like you have to have the respect of the land to see these things. The respect of everything. Everything, not just It's just the way it is.
Right.
It's the way it is. If you don't have the respect of the land too, like then all bets are off. Like in other fashions. Yeah, right? You know what I mean?
Right. That's correct. That's why we always say, go out there and in a, good mood and open-minded and become one with nature. You don't want to go out there with a bad attitude and.
Yeah. It'll backfire.
Shannon says, I'm a Zoomaholic. Yeah, it was just a great sea, man. That was awesome. And the things going on around, I circled what I could, what I saw, but there was a lot that we were trying to catch. I was trying to catch with the camera, like there was another one. Damn it. There was another one. Damn it. And then, Mike would be like, I seen it. And it was like, man, it was like all that we couldn't catch on film. But the ones during the video that I circled, you can plainly see them.
And sometimes with the lights too, you can tell there's a difference between how you see it and how the camera picks it up.
Oh, yeah.
That goes a lot of different ways. Audio the same way. And I mean, if you don't believe it, just take a camera out in the woods right when it starts, when it gets dark and everything looks relatively bright. You can see where you're going, but then you look through your camera and it looks like it's pitch black. Like you can't see anything. So there's a lot of weird times where you see lights or see something move and it doesn't quite look like it does on the camera. Like in that video that same day, in the daytime I was filming, and if you've seen it, you might have caught it. I saw something ahead of me in the forest, and it had like a gold shininess to it. I mean, it was really shiny with my eyes, and I zoomed in and looked at it, and it didn't even look shiny at all. Like you could definitely see the area, though it had like a little bit of brightness to it, but it looked like, it was like a big difference in how it looked to me versus, how the light or the camera was picking up that same light.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely. And one of the things I have is I'll have the camera pointed one way and I'll catch it out of the corner of my eye on the side.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I don't know, it seems like you guys are pointing this out. Now I'm saying this, it's like I've seen this too a bunch of the times. I'm catching these glimpses of light in the middle of like a dark woods. But like by the time I can get the camera to pan over that way, there's nothing. And I'm thinking maybe that was eye shine, but it's like I see nothing else, but it was just this little light, and it seems to be what you guys were describing.
Yeah, I'm just glad. I mean, there was a lot of them. It seemed like they were just circling us, but you couldn't get them on camera except the ones that we got, and I was just happy for that. But each time that I'd catch something weird, I would stop the video, show MT just to clarify, what I was seeing. I'm just happy that I got it on video.
I asked MT this earlier, but I wanted to ask you, Jack, what the heck do you think the rod things are that you were seeing and talking about?
We seen them at Claim 3. They're like light rods. And I know I'd seen a couple messages that stick bugs, definitely not stick bugs in Ohio. This time of year, there's no leaves to eat. They ain't even around after winter, and they only live about a year. They don't make it through winter or anything. And with no leaves on the trees, then no stick bugs. There was no lightning bugs.
Some people call them skyfish, but they're like,
right?
Yeah, they are. That's exactly what they are. Though they're just rods of light. Like
energy, kind of energy.
If you have a crappy camera, like you can see a bug fly by and it'll leave like a trail, right? And like, but that's totally different than a solid rod crossing the screen the whole time, right? And like that's where I try to tell people, like, explain to them that it's not a bug, because like it's hard to explain when you're out there all the time, right? Like you guys are out there nonstop filming at night all the time. Like, for instance, I film in the day a lot, right? Like I don't know, I'm probably close to like 3,000 videos, right? Like, and that's just the ones I post, and it's like a video diary. So like, I'm videoing all the time, and then I see people post like, "Oh, I captured a blue orb. I captured a blue orb," and I'm like, And like I feel bad, but I'm like, no, like the new cameras, like if the sun's hitting the right way, it's like it's a new type of lens flare, like, and it's like this big, beautiful, and it tends to be these big, beautiful blue looking orbs, and a lot of times it's not, and but those rods are that's a whole nother ball game, It's a whole other story. If you catch a rod on like a security camera, you never know, because those kind of move slow, right? Like they kind of that frame by frame is kind of slow. So you could say, all right, that might have been a bug going by because it just trailed. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I got you 100%.
At Claim 3, when we were there, and the same night, the cameraman captured one, and then I captured one at a different time. But they both, if you watch it, you'll see they both look almost identical, but the way they behaved was different. They were actually it was right in front of the camera. It almost looked like it wanted to be in front. And they were like, they had this little bounce to it. It looked like they were dancing. They were just, and then it would move kind of quick around, and then the same looking like rod came over in front of the camera when I set it up that night. Like later on when we set our cameras stationary, it came in front of the camera again, and it was like dancing like this, and then it moved and it was gone. And at Cuyahoga that night, it seemed like you couldn't catch them in front of you. They kept moving around, which was strange, but it sounds like they're the similar kind of like weird light anomaly.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can
There's
see it. Oh, go ahead.
Something,
MT.
something I suggest to a lot of people, and I'm not going to say it here because it gets, every time I mention it, I'm going to tell it to you in a different way. I'm going to say it backwards, but every time I mention it, I get it. The whole stream gets canceled. So anyway, it's really cool. It's on Amazon still, probably. This woman has been deceased now. Her name was Dorothy something, I forget. But anyway, so the light, and then put before it capturing, and type it in that way, and on Amazon, and then I'm not gonna say it directly because every time I do, something happens when I say it verbatim. But look that up, and
Gotcha.
you'll see a woman who interacts throughout her whole entire life, like with sky anomalies and different lights. Some are down low, some and and what she went and did eventually was went and got on her balcony, like she would know when they were outside or whatever, and like just kind of have like an idea, like they were here, or something's going on out there, and she'd have like a bunch of different cameras from like a Polaroid to like a 9mm to like the newest newest technology, and she would just go down the line, snap photos, and go back to bed. Like, but anyway, it's worth checking out if you got. I don't know if they charge money for it now. Probably a few bucks. I don't know, but it's worth it, and
Yeah.
it connects a few dots.
Yeah. I think someone put her name in there.
Dorothy, yeah.
Dorothy Baker.
Yeah.
Dorothy Baker.
Igit, I think her name is, or something like that. Igit, or is it, or something? Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, worth checking out.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually highlighted that.
You're gonna get us digging down more rabbit holes here.
On that video, the only light rod you could see that I caught on video with MT facing this way, and it came out of his torso, like if he was facing forwards, this is him facing forwards. It came out of his torso, went around to the left. I caught it, and I go, there it is. And you could see what a light rod looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out of like his stomach and goes to the left of him. And I circle it, and then I circle behind him as it's going so you can catch it. So when you get to that point, pause it. And you want to see what a light rod looks like. That's what it looks like. And that one was kind of like grayish white. But we've seen blue ones, and we've seen different colored ones. Not like red ones, but blue ones and light blue ones. But you could see a light rod. That's what I call a light rod.
Some people call them skyfish. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
I don't know if it means the same thing or whatever.
So I'm gonna be
Yeah, I
looking
don't
that
know.
up afterwards and type in skyfish and see what comes up.
Yeah. But it was a good night. Good night of catching stuff. That's for sure. And we both felt drained and thirsty afterwards. And
Oh yeah, that was weird. That next day was so strange. I literally seemed like I could not drink enough. Like I was getting Gatorade, water, and I kept drinking so much, and it seemed like I always felt like I was just parched, like I just needed more to drink constantly.
yeah. And I had to end up going to the emergency room. And I was the same way. It was like I had like 3 things to drink, like coffee, water, vitamin water. And it was just like I was just drinking. And I was just still dehydrated. I mean, there was some other stuff to go with that, but I'm not putting that in there. I mean, yep, seen the smoke too. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, you guys had kind of reminds me of like they had that movie or the story of Fire in the Sky.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Travis, somebody, I can't remember his name, Travis, where he gets picked up by the aliens or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really good night. I hope when we all go back, just be prepared. Bring a lot of battery packs.
Yeah.
Yep. Bring extra lights.
Yeah, extra lights, battery packs.
Gosh, me and MT were back there, and it was like dead quiet. There wasn't a breeze. The peeps weren't even making any noise. It was just you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, it was definitely different feeling there than other times when we were there.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep everybody too long since it is Saturday, and wanted to get this Q&A in. Hopefully we answered a bunch of questions, and if you have any questions, please drop us a message or put them on the Cameraman Facebook page. And if you got a message for LIB, man, go at them. If you go to the homepage of my channel, scroll down below.
I'm old news. Don't worry about it.
You'll see my feature channels that I like. LIB, Long Island Bigfoot, Adam. T-Mac, same thing.
Yeah.
Mike's channel, Trapper's channel, they're all down there. And more. Those are the channels that I watch down below in that featured area. Great channels.
Well, we've been talking about a collaboration for a long time, but it's coming soon, one way or another.
Yeah.
It's coming this summer.
I can't wait.
I know. I just,
Yeah.
it'll
I have
be
a
fun.
feeling that hunt is going to be.
It'll be fun. That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
Yeah.
With your intrigue, all your intrigues, I just already know. It ain't gonna be for me, but I know you'll. it'll be fun.
I get OCD when I'm out there, man.
So I say I'm old news. The woods like when I bring new people out, different people.
That's awesome. You're like, ooh, look at his energy. Get him. Look at that cocktail of energy.
That's what you guys did with me the first time I came out with you. Remember, you had me stand out in the middle alone, lights out.
Yeah.
I figured that was the test to make sure that I wouldn't panic.
Oh yeah. I put
So
everybody
I looked
through
it up. I looked it up. If you have Amazon Prime, you don't have to purchase it, unless I've purchased it already, and that's why I own it. I don't know, but the true story of Dorothy Izzett, an alien contactee, has accumulated over 30,000 feet of film footage backing her claim. She got an award for Best Contactee Abductee Documentary from UFO Congress EBE Awards in 2008 and Best UFO Footage from the UFO Congress of EBE Awards in 2008. I didn't even know there was awards. But yeah.
That's
Anyway,
awesome.
it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how you start out looking for, like you say, Bigfoot or cryptid type stuff, and we end up with UFO type stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say they're UFOs necessarily all the time, but they're, these lights and things have more, there's more to it than just, I don't know. We can't brush it off as like lightning bugs and this and that. And
Yeah, there's
I don't know.
there's
There's a
literally
lot
no
going
lightning
on.
bugs out this time of year here. It's too cold.
Yeah. What was it last night? 42?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was cold last night.
A little chilly.
No
It
lightning
is.
bugs yet. That's July. That's July weather.
The ticks are out because the ticks are definitely out because I got
Yeah,
the
I
ticks
had
are
one
out. Be
very
careful.
big.
All right.
All right,
All right, my
everyone.
friends.
Thank you so much. LIB, thank you for being on here. You guys, thank you for coming
Thank
tonight.
you.
I know
Thank you.
everybody's got stuff to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Hey,
Join the guys' channels, everybody over here.
one last thing. Don't forget
there,
to call your mothers tomorrow.
there.
Oh yeah, good point.
Mother's Day.
Good point.
Yeah, have a great Mother's Day.
Yeah.
With that said, I'm Jack the Cameraman.
Mike, MT Paranormal
I'm
Mike.
Trapper.
I'm the other guy.
The other
See you
guy.
later.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day and Father's Day. There's some
Yes,
guys
happy
out
Mother's
there,
Day, ladies.
some guys out there that have to be the mother too. So
No
happy
doubt.
Father's
No
Day,
doubt.
happy Mother's Day.
That's right.
All right. Thank you all for being here again. Any questions for us? Hit us up on Facebook, send us a message. We'll answer them. Thanks,
No doubt.
guys. Bye.
Good night.